Okay, so this time I'll talk about tuples. So tuples are basically immutable. They are immutable array-like objects, right? So array-like objects. Tuples can hold multiple data types. So the important point is that unlike lists, tuples are first they are made or they are created in this way. So you put uh, the instead of square brackets, you put the curly ones, and then you just insert your favorite objects str and then lists as well, um, you know anything, so 3.45 etc. So even lists, even tuples can go inside tuples, right? So now if I you know print t, so here's the tuple. Now if I try to check the type of t, it's a tuple, right? So now what is the difference between tuple and a list? Tuple is immutable, as I said. You cannot tamper with t. So for example, let's try to pop the the zeroth index, and you see the first thing is that tuple object has no attribute pop. It's an attribute error, but the thing is tuples are immutable. So for example, t of, let's say, 0 is 1, but if I say t of 0 is equal to 1, just like in strings, it's going to give me a type error. The tuple object does not support item assignment, so you cannot assign, um, you know, you cannot tamper with t, in short, right? Tuples are immutable. Okay, so this is something special about tuple. And another thing that I want to talk about is converting from one data type to another. So for example, you have a list. Let's talk about the country list that we discussed before. So United States, you have India, you have China and Russia. Okay, so you have L. So what's L? L is, you can just check type L, and that's a list, right? Now, if you want to convert this into a tuple, so all you just need to do is, well, I want to change the L to point to this tuple, which is basically tuple, and then inside that you just say L, right? So what's happening here is that, see, initially L was a list. Now you're saying it has become tuple. So tuple of L, and then you are assigning it the same variable L, right? Now if I try to access L, it will be a tuple, right? So they are immutable. They can hold multiple data types. In this case, I'm using strings alone. And just like in lists, you can count. So let me say L is equal to China, and then India, then Russia. Right, now you can count L dot count, let's say China, right? It's 2, so it can count, right? Just like in strings, just like in lists, it can count. And if you want to count something which is not here, right, it will give 0, right? 0 count. Now the thing is, you can convert lists to tuples, and the other way around. So right now L is a tuple, so you just need to do list of L, and just assign. You can assign a new variable. Let's say G is equal to list of L, and then try to access G. It's a list here, so you can convert it back and forth, right? You can convert lists. I wanted to press hash here, so you can convert lists and tuples, vice versa, right? And also we saw that when we were discussing strings, right, if you had a string, right, you can convert it basically into a list, but it's not exactly that you are putting the string into a list, but you're accessing each and every character and then making it into a list, right? But if you wanted to put this in a list, all you just need to do is this dot join and then string, right? uh, so okay, so that's again it's a string again, it's but okay, so for that list, I mean, or just string, right? This could work, right? Okay, so and to convert a list back into a string, all you just need to do is use this join. So great. So here, if it was inside a list, now if you just join it back, or maybe let me give you ty. So you see, it's just joining it according to whatever be the thing that we give here. It will use that to join, right? So this is basically converting list to string in a way, and strings to list. Yeah, so that's one possibility. And then again, we can discuss about, okay, so another thing about tuples is that if you want to put, let's say, an integer inside a tuple, right, or in other words, if a tuple has only one input that's a integer, or any float, let's say 0.989, and then if you try to access the type of b, it's a float, right? If it was an int, it will be an int. So what's happening here? Why is it not a tuple? Well, to make it into a tuple, all you just need to do is 10.989, and then you just put a comma here, and then try to access the type of b. It will be a tuple, right? So you need to have a comma here. Okay, so this should be plus and point, sorry, it should be a point, and then a comma, and now it becomes a tuple, right? So that's something which we need to take care. So if you have just one entry, of course, if you had multiple entries, then there's no issue. It's just it will be interpreted as tuple, but or else it will be a float or an integer, right? If we had, let's say, b is equal to str ing, and then you try to look at the type of b, see, it's a string here, right? So you just need to put a comma there, then it becomes a tuple, right? So that's something which we need to take care. But this is not the case with list. So when you have 10 type of b, well, that's a list again, right? So yeah. Okay, so just like in strings, you can concatenate and you can multiply strings, right? That's basically concatenating it n times. So the same thing can be done with tuples. So with tuples, so let's create a tuple here. So 1 comma 2, and then c star 3, right? It's basically multiplying it 3 times, or basically you are joining, you're extending this tuple 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 times, right? You can add 1 2 1, let's say st, let's say hk. See, it has become 1 2 1 st hk, so it has added to the previous tuple. So you can add, right? But when you add it, when you try to look at C, it's the same thing. It has not changed the original tuple. This is basically, this will output a new tuple, right? The same is with lists, right? So if you had a list, right? St, and then you add another list 2 3 4. See, it will give a new list, right? It's a new list. So, but okay, if I had named it, right? So L is equal to you know this one, right? Just copy it and then paste it, and then you know L plus. Of course, this will give a new list, but the L is still the original one, right? So yeah, so this is something which you can do. But of course, if you want to change L completely, then you need to L dot append or extend, right? Extend command, and then 2 comma 3 comma 4, and then so this will give you the extended list, right? So that's something which we need to take care. And what else can we discuss about tuples? So, well, tuples are basically, again, immutable. We can hold multiple data types. Okay, so when we were discussing lists, I guess I did not discuss a specific topic called sorting, right? Okay, so it's okay, we can discuss it here. So let's start with country list, right? Or maybe, not country list. Let's just, for the sake of understanding properly, let's try to see ABC and then spots, right? This is our new list, right? And then if you want to sort it, if you want to sort this according to the, here it's all alphabets, so you want to sort this, right, in the dictionary order, right? So then country dot sort, this will do the job, right? See, it has sorted it out, right? And notice that small letters, small alphabets comes after the caps, right? So that's what is happening here. Okay, so that is this. Again, it has sorted it out. So original list is now always, it's changed, right? It's the sorted one. But if you had wanted you know if you had wanted the original list to stay the same, right? If you wanted country to remain the same, but you want a sorted list, right? A different sorted list, then you will do sorted, right? SORTED, and then country 2. Okay. So okay, country 2 is not defined, so that's because I didn't write that properly. So now if you see sorted country 2, this is a new sorted country list, right? Or just sorted list. But if you try to look at country 2, well, see, it's the same original one, right? It's not sorted, right? So that's something you can do with lists, is basically sort. And I should also tell you that you can sort strings. You know let's see, we can sort this one. So country dot sort, and then country, well, it has sorted it out, right? So the numbers came before, and then then alphabets came after. So again, it has sorted it out, right? So this is something which you can use. And if you want to sort it in the reverse order, then let's try to do it here. So country 2 dot sort reverse is equal to true. Okay, so you're saying basically sort the list in the reversed order, right? So you see here, when you look at the country 2 list, this time it is sorted in the reversed manner. So small letters and then caps, and then U, then I, right? So, um, and then C, then B. So it has sorted in the reversed order, right? Okay, so that is something which I wanted to discuss about lists, and let's see what we can look further. Um, okay, so sorting is done, but again, I should tell you if there is something like, you know, if an integer is there, then of course you cannot sort it, right? Of course, country dot sort it, this is going to give you an error because you cannot have, you know, this kind of relation cannot be there between integer and string, so it will give an error here, right? So again, this is about less, but um, as mentioned before, tuples, I told you tuples are, you know, something written within this bracket, and within this you know, this kind of a bracket, not the square ones, and then you can input any kind of data type, and it will be mutable, but you can definitely access elements, right? T of 7, of course 7 is out of range. Of course you can even count, as I mentioned before, you can just count it, right? T dot count China, it will count it for you. So yeah, that's it for tuples, I guess. It was short, but next time we'll look at dictionary, and dictionary will have a little bit more content. So yeah, so that's it for this video. I'll see you next time.